Hello. Good afternoon. Michael Wynn, Chief Digital Officer of Digital Ops, a division of RB Oppenheim Associates. Hey guys, it's Monday, and for many of us in our local market, it's back to school. So now it's time to talk about maybe taking your business back to school on how to amplify your brand and assemble your dream team through paid LinkedIn content. I mean, that's really the goal of any business, is to amplify your brand and have the right people in the right place doing the right job in order to grow your business. And that's what this podcast video series is all about: digital marketing strategies and tactics to help grow your business. So let's dive into, if you've not placed a paid LinkedIn ad or done any digital marketing paid on the LinkedIn platform, they've definitely made some enhancements just over the last several months in what's now available and how marketers can leverage the data, leverage member profile information, and really create a personalized experience when it comes to dynamic ad creative on the LinkedIn platform. So I want to first kind of talk to you about thinking about LinkedIn in three different ad content ways. So first of all, the first way is obviously organic, which is not paid. You literally just go into LinkedIn. You can either put a post on your own personal profile, or you can put content on your own company page where you're literally typing up text, you're adding a photo, you're sharing a link to your website. It does an auto generation of a featured image from that article or of that website. So that's organic content that can be posted. But then there are two different types of paid content, and that would be the difference between sponsored content and direct sponsored content. Now, really the difference between the two is sponsored content is going to allow you to basically advertise and promote within the platform content that's in the platform. So if you've posted content as an article from your page, or if you're trying to get more people to follow you, everything that's happening within the platform is going to be considered sponsored content. Now, where direct sponsored and it's visible actually on the platform for members, and it's also visible on your page as well. Now, the direct sponsored content is really the difference between that is, there was some information that you found. People heard the word dark content on Facebook ads, where that was kind of a mysterious phrase, and really what that means is that this is content that's not visible on your company page, but is actually ad content that's inside of the campaign manager for the LinkedIn platform. And the reason why you would want to do that is it really allows you to have a more segmented, granular, and contextual ad creative for those users. So let's say, for instance, you were in the medical field and you wanted to, specifically target, let's say you had a device that, could help people who were thinking about dentistry. But also your product could also help people who were thinking about going to their dermatologist. So being able to show specific ads with a very specific message that's very topic based to the end user's interest and industry, and not have that mix up and kind of pollute your own LinkedIn page, you could see how that would be a benefit. Otherwise, your actual business page would have content for dentists, content for dermatologists, content for veterinarians. Like you would look like you're all over the place, you know. But through direct sponsored content, you really have the ability to segment and really target specific, you know, whether it's industries or whether it's skills within a specific industry. It really allows you to really zone in and target and match the creative to the target. So those are the three things. Those are kind of the, you know, when you drill down. Now, the types of ads that are available to you, there are really, I'm going to call it 8+1. And there are 8 really ads that you can do yourself, and then there's one that is kind of controlled by LinkedIn. So let's talk about the first 8. The first 8 are single image, video, carousel, spotlight, follower, jobs, messages, and text. Those are your 8 different kinds. And then the 9th, which is content. So let's jump into, obviously a single image ad is very straightforward. You have your visual, you have your text, you link to it, you know, where you go from there is kind of up to you, but single image is pretty straightforward. The video content, what I think is interesting about video content, you know, organically, the longest video you can upload to LinkedIn in your organic content is 10 minutes. But what's interesting is with a video ad that is placed through Campaign Manager, you can actually have an ad up to 30 minutes. Now, I'm not saying that you would necessarily want that. LinkedIn actually says that the best length of a video is around 15 seconds. However, I could easily see, you know, video content that you would have, especially for, you know, when you're thinking sort of middle of the funnel, you know, consideration, if you will, that could be, you know, 12, 13, 14, 18 minutes. I mean, there's a reason why TED Talks don't go longer than 18 minutes. There's some magic there. And if you're interested, Google it. Why are TED Talks under 18 minutes? Video content, carousel, you know, we think about the carousel ads literally as, think about them as individual slides, right? So you can have individual slides. So if you want to show a picture of a man and a woman, and then follow that with just a man and then just a woman, you know, maybe there's, you know, specific messaging to each one of these. The one thing that you need to remember with carousel ads is you cannot make a different link for each one of the carousel slides. The link that you click on has to be the same for each one of the carousel ads. And I think they just did that, you know, so that you're not like, you know, there are people out there who have malicious intent, no doubt, and, you know, would want to try to trick people, you know, bait and switch kind of thing. So, but with the carousel ads, I do think it allows you to kind of create a broken out, you know, sort of segment of, you know, okay, this person, or maybe, hey, have you thought about this use versus this use versus this use? So you could kind of, you know, literally storyboard, if you will, your carousel ad content for your clients. And so carousel ads, just remember, for carousel ads, you can only have the same link for each carousel ad. Now the spotlight ad, what that allows you to do is that allows you to really put together creative, and it can be dynamic. And what I mean by dynamic is that there are, you know, if you've ever used Microsoft Word's mail merge, how you can kind of put those brackets, you know, if you've got like an Excel spreadsheet and you want to reference like first name, last name in brackets. So Spotlight ads are part of the dynamic ad set where you can use the bracket information that will pull data from the LinkedIn user's profile, like, Michael, have you thought about visiting this brand page? And it allows you to insert and personalize based on profile on that LinkedIn user's group. But then the link that you take them to could be your own website or your own landing page. So you're going to take them off the platform, out of LinkedIn, and over to your own website or landing page. Now, follower ads are basically, the counterpart to that, where literally when you think of a follower ad, you're trying to stay within the platform. You want them to, follow your page. Again, you can still, it's dynamic. I can still say, Michael, you might want to follow digital ops because they talk about digital marketing and how to grow your business. But all of the call to actions that are going to be within that ad type are going to take that end user to content within the LinkedIn platform. It's not going to take you outside. Now the job section is huge. It's really deep. I'm going to really just barely scratch the surface because there are so much. I mean, you can really think of LinkedIn as the recruiting tool. I think that you're going to see more and more people take advantage of that platform, compared to Career Builder and Indeed and some of those other third parties. And I know clients who have given us feedback who have said they've used both and gotten really qualified people from their LinkedIn, profile or their job posting. Obviously, again, it's paid content, so there's a fee in it. But when you're really trying to assemble your dream team, it's worth an investment, right? I mean, it's no different than, here we are, NFL and college football is right ahead of us. Super excited about that. And, teams invest in draft capital, in drafting their best players. They invest in that. So same thing with your LinkedIn content. You may have to invest, some revenue and ad capital. What I do think is interesting is when you're setting up these ads, LinkedIn makes it really easy. If you don't even know how much you should spend, they've got a nice sort of little, calculator or forecast tool that will show you, okay, based on the criteria and the industry that you're interested in. Let's say you were a bank and you were trying to, solicit new tellers or new mortgage originators or what have you. You could pick financing or banking, and then within whatever your state of Florida or your city, and then over in the side panel it would tell you, okay, based on the information you have, the criteria, the amount of users that have that information that match the criteria, as well as the geographical area that you're targeting, here's your monthly spend. And they give you a range. And so I think that's really helpful for businesses, especially for marketers, for us to be able to tell the client, hey, according to the data and the reach that is within LinkedIn's platform, here's what you can expect as far as a budget goes, and we can give them that range. So I think that's very helpful. But I love, again, we could really dive into jobs because that's such a really fantastic way to recruit and build your dream team. I mean, they've got, ads called Picture Yourself, and literally, you would see an ad where it would have a circle of your photo that's on your LinkedIn profile with a plus sign next to the brand icon or logo, and it would say, picture yourself working for, VaynerMedia, right? Michael Wynn, imagine yourself working for VaynerMedia, or something like that, or, whatever your industry is, they would have your photo next to their brand and really kind of create that visual, picture yourself working for this company. So, and then, they've got, job things like jobs you may be interested in. But I think the other thing that's very interesting about that platform is its ability to allow you to really vet and sort of pre-screen. So you can set up a couple of series of exercises for them to complete before they can submit their application. And I think what's really great about that is, it really prevents those people from just going apply, 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 right? And you kind of weed out the real lazy people who would not be on your dream team. Like they would be, on your like people you're cutting, like they're not even on like the practice squad. So yeah, so I think that ability to vet applications and create that filter process is really fantastic for paid LinkedIn content. The last two in that kind of set of 8 is message ads, which are basically sponsored in mail, where you can get a direct mail notification, inbox notification to users. And I really see that right now, it doesn't come across as spam. Again, it's a dynamic ad platform, so you can use that. Hey, Michael, have you thought about, are you thinking about, and you can kind of create that that interest first to say, oh yeah, I have been thinking about. But when you're able to use a dynamic format in that text, it's really great. Now they also have with that in message, if you're pulling it up on your desktop, they also have a visual component that can go right next to the message that you pull up. So you have this nice written email, if you will, your in-mail message, but then right next to it in the side panel is a little header or graphic that can go along that, so you can have that visual. Or if it's just a mobile message and you don't have that opportunity, you need to be really careful and selective about the words that you use and the thoughts. I mean, there's a lot of companies, when you go out and you look in the job section, they're like so boring. They're like, established in 1937, blah, 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 right? And like just zero engagement, like not really trying to put themselves in the shoes of that, potential applicant of why they might be thinking about a job change. Why not engage them? Why start the conversation off with, let us tell you how great we are. So I do think that that's interesting thought process that we talk to our clients about. Of look, if your competition, if your industry is very competitive, highly aggressive in recruiting, like in nursing or healthcare, in some of those fields, you need to be aware of what those ads are that your competition is asking and how they're presenting their ad content. I mean, you 100% want to create a differentiator for yourself and your brand when it comes to that. Okay, and then lastly, text ads. So text ads, to me, I often just completely overlook that. There's a very thin line right at the top of the news feed where you can get text, ads that are literally, there's just no visual to it. They're just totally text-based. And then there's another set of text-based that has a little square 100 by 100 icon that's right below in the side panel, like right under what's trending, like all the articles, like, there's usually like 5 or 6 of the top, things that people are talking about. And then right below that, there's a little ad window, text window box that's there, and that would be your text area. Again, those are also dynamic, so you can personalize those ads. And then the last one, so those were the 8. The other one that I mentioned, which is content ads, and again, they're a little bit vague on that. And basically, they say, if you want to place a content ad, please contact us directly, and we'll help you get that set up. So, unless you're doing that, it's kind of behind the wall. And what I think you're going to ultimately find when you call them is, you're going to probably have a minimum $10,000 ad spend to be able to access and leverage that particular type of ad content. No different than some of the things that we see on Snapchat, where you have to have minimums to be able to leverage that platform. But 8 other opportunities that are highly effective and that can be very targeted and very segmented for your audience group. The last thing that I want to point out quickly is, we've talked a lot on this video and podcast series where we talk about the funnel and the 3 stages of awareness, consideration, and conversion. I do think it's very interesting that just 2017 early, that LinkedIn came out with what they call objective-based ads, and those 7 formats fall under those 3 buckets. So I think it's interesting that they used a very common marketing funnel, ad placement strategy to help people think about and leverage the types of ads. So under awareness, it's all about branding. And the second bucket, which is consideration, I like to call middle of the funnel, you know, you've got web visits or engagement or video views. Those are the three opportunities in the consideration. And then in the conversion stage, they have lead gen forms, web conversions, and job applications. It is interesting about the lead generation forms under the conversion tab that what's cool about it is when you click on a LinkedIn lead generation form, it will automatically aggregate and pull over your data from your LinkedIn profile and pre-populate that, which makes it really easy for that user to submit and request information when it comes to your product or service. So those are my quick tips for this Monday, this back to school Monday. And if you're thinking about how to amplify your brand and assemble your dream team through paid LinkedIn content, these are a couple of tips that you might want to think about. Guys, thanks for joining in today. My name is Michael Wynn. I'm the Chief Digital Officer of Digital Ops, a division of RB Oppenheim Associates. Thanks for joining in today, and we'll catch you tomorrow.